Though the contents of this program provide information taught by certified firearm training instructors on how to properly carry and discharge firearms, do not attempt this at home. All gun handlers should seek personalized training programs in their area to properly learn how to safely carry and operate firearms. Contact your local law enforcement or NRA agency to find certified training instructors in your area.
Nearly 1.4 million people have been the victim of a violent crime in the last year. Were you one of them? On today's Conceal and Carry School.
I have absolutely no experience with guns.
What we're going to do this morning is going to be out on the range shooting.
Growing up, guns just weren't a part of my life.
Load! Magazine out!
I am nervous. This is going to be the first time I'm ever going to shoot a gun.
Ready, position, out!
Conceal and Carry School is brought to you by Ruger, rugged, reliable firearms. Conceal and Carry School is brought to you by Insight Technology, built for battle, and by Blackhawk, honor as a way of life.
Here, we follow 9 inexperienced gun handlers from across the United States as they endure an intense tactical handgun training course taught by former Royal Marine and Special Forces operative Bill Davison. Sadly, in America, nearly 450,000 people are mugged each year. Many of these violent crimes may have been avoided if the victims had only been armed. Today, we'll hear Sarah Mensit's story. Sarah's one of the 9 students here at Tac Pro, and as it happens, was also the victim of a violent crime.
They x-rayed my face and my wrist they thought was broken. I got, I believe it was 10 or 12 stitches in my lip. But before I could do anything medically, the police came and took my statement.
The question is, can Bill Davison and his Tac Pro team help Sarah overcome her apprehension and regain her personal confidence? We'll find out.
My name is Sarah Mensint. I am 25 years old. I currently live in Denver, Colorado. I'm originally from Oregon, and I work for a TV production company in Littleton, Colorado. I have absolutely no experience with guns. I've never held one, never touched one, never fired one. I don't like guns. I don't not like guns. I don't really know anything about them.
Though the number of firearms purchased in recent years has reached new highs, the number of guns in the home, where a majority of gun handlers are first introduced to firearms, dropped to 36.5% in 2004 from 46% in 1989, the same years Sarah was living at home with her parents. With a poor depiction of firearms in the media, it's not surprising individuals like Sarah are unfamiliar with and/or fear using sidearms as a tool for self-defense.
I've never taken self-defense. I don't have any training of any kind. I am trying to explore some different things that I can do to keep myself safe. Obviously, the people out there that are committing these violent crimes, they have guns, probably not legally, and it's scary.
On June 20th, 2009 in Denver, Colorado, Sarah Mensint met with friends for a late dinner at their home.
Though Sarah wasn't very familiar with the neighborhood, she felt comfortable riding alone through the streets of Denver.
The night Sarah was attacked, I was with her. I've known Sarah for 4 years. We met at college. We had a friend in town from Oregon that we both knew, and I said, hey, why don't you join us?
Around 11 that evening, Sarah decided it was time to go home.
I walked her outside, and I remember asking her if she wanted us to put her bike in the back of our truck. We could take her home, and Sarah, being Sarah, said, Fergie, are you kidding? I got this.
Up next.
He had a small black handgun.
I had a text, and all it said was, Sarah is in the hospital. And the first thought was, did he touch her?
And then?
When I first picked up my handgun, I was more nervous than I thought I would be.
Welcome back. After a late dinner with friends in the summer of 2009, Sarah Mensint was on her way home.
I was riding my bike down a fairly main street, not a bad location. I wasn't scared at all. As I approached 18th Street, a guy walked out from behind the building on the sidewalk and then started walking towards me. And as I approached him, he kind of stepped off to the side, and I was thinking, oh, that's really nice. This guy is trying to give me some extra space.
Sarah's attacker acted quickly and caught her unexpectedly off guard.
I was immediately tossed to the ground. He had a handgun, a small black handgun. He took the gun, put it in my face, and said, "Give me your purse." Turned the gun with the butt to my face and hit my face probably 4 or 5 times.
After repeatedly beating her with the butt of his gun, he grabbed Sarah's purse and pulled.
The purse straps broke. The guy fell back. My stuff scattered everywhere, and he started picking stuff up. At that point, I just kind of was laying on the ground, and he took off running real quick after that happened.
A desperate individual will go to any measure to survive.
When the guy was hitting me, I could sense that this guy was desperate and that he was going to do anything to get my purse.
All the attacker got away with after mugging Sarah was a measly $20. Thankfully for Sarah, her attack happened mere feet from the entrance to a hospital. A woman outside quickly came to her aid.
I was ushered through hallways, went to get my vitals taken. My teeth went through my lip 3 or 4 different times. I had huge holes in my face.
I was in total shock, especially because I don't really consider Denver an unsafe city. I had no idea that something like this could happen, especially to Sarah.
I didn't see it coming, I wasn't prepared, and I had no idea what to do in that situation.
I could tell inside that she was going through a lot.
I didn't want to talk about it, I didn't want to think about it. You know, I wanted to try and move on.
Afraid it could happen again, Sarah decided it was time to face another fear, her fear of guns.
I have quite a few friends that were pretty shocked when I told them I was coming here.
Sarah didn't really talk about guns, I wouldn't say, on a regular basis.
I don't know if I'm gonna love this class. I don't know if I'm gonna hate this class. Going into it, you know, I'm trying to keep an open mind, but at the same time, I do have those apprehensions because of my mugging. The one experience I have had involving a handgun was horrible.
With the crime nearly a year behind her, Sarah, along with 8 others from across the United States, decides to take a trip to Texas to attend a tactical handgun training course.
Welcome to Tac Pro Shooting Center. My name is Bill Davison. I own the place and I'm the chief instructor.
When I first picked up my handgun, I was a lot more nervous than I thought I would be.
You'll remove the magazine from the weapon by pressing the magazine release catch.
Where do you start? You know, how do you start with gun safety, learning how to handle a weapon? Because you want to protect yourself, but you want to know that you can be safe while you're using it.
Then you're going to pull the slide back and check inside 3 times. Everybody in the classroom will know that the weapon is clear and safe, and we can get on with the rest of the class.
Holding the gun in my hand for the first time today was exciting and scary all at the same time. Like, my hands were definitely a little sweaty.
This is just another piece of machinery that you will use for your own good. It's not something mystical or magical. You'll never lose the respect for it. It'll always be that little edge of fear because it is a weapon.
Up next on Conceal and Carry School.
Safety has got to be your most important fundamental. Everything else comes after that.
Initially, I was very freaked out. I'm coming in this with absolutely no experience.
Sarah Menson's taking a daring leap of faith to overcome her fear of guns. Will she succeed? We'll find out. Welcome back to Conceal and Carry School. 1 year after being the victim of an armed robbery, Sarah Menson's decided to take a daring leap to overcome her personal fear of handguns. Head instructor Bill Davison and his Tac Pro team believe mastering the fundamentals is key in becoming a proficient gun handler.
We're going to give you the rules, and you have to apply them every time you're in contact with the weapon.
The 4 key fundamentals of firearms include safety, grip, stance, and sights. Together, when executed correctly, these allow a shooter to be more accurate, stable, and most importantly, safe.
Safety has got to be your most important fundamental. You can have the best training in the world, but if you have a negligent discharge and someone's injured, you're done. Safety absolutely is critical. Everything else comes after that.
Every time you pick up a handgun or you're handed a sidearm, always inspect the chamber to make sure the gun is unloaded. Always keep your safety on until you are ready to fire the weapon. Never point your weapon at anything you do not intend to shoot.
You're going to unload and load your gun numerous times, and you must be able to point it in a safe direction. Keeping your finger off the trigger, obviously the gun can't go off if you don't pull the trigger. You should take time to learn how the mechanics work on the pistol itself.
The class at Tac Pro is using the Ruger SR9 and SR9C. These are 9mm handguns with a 17+1 capacity magazine and ambidextrous safety feature. They make ideal weapons for conceal and carry, and they're easy to disassemble and clean.
Initially, I was very freaked out. I feel like I'm coming in this with absolutely no experience, and I'm trying to keep up with everyone. It's intense and intimidating.
Number 2, grip.
What we've got to talk about now is how to hold the weapon when we're going to fire it. We're going to place the web of the gun into the web of the hand. As you can see from this side, my hand is as high as possible and my fingers off the trigger running alongside the weapon.
Never have your finger on the trigger until you are ready to shoot the weapon.
To match each other exactly. So by putting it all in together, we got most of us holding most of the gun.
Number 3, stance.
Now we're going to relax our legs. Lower your whole body weight down just a small amount, about an inch. If we had to walk or move anything, we'd still be able to. Once we get the correct grip on the gun, we want to lock out both arms symmetrically. Our goal when we get into position is we push the gun far enough forward that your shoulders roll over and your weight comes in front of your hips. So your shoulders have to be in front of your hips. From here, I want 60% on my toes, 40% on my heels. The gun is in its strongest position.
With 60% of the weight on your toes, you're ready for the recoil of the weapon. Number 4, sights.
First thing we have to work out is which one is our master eye. So what we're going to do is I want you to pick a point on the target on the end of the room, and I want you to look at it with both eyes open and take your thumb from your strong hand and place it on top of the target. And then what you're going to do is you're going to close one eye and then the other. The eye where the thumb is directly on top of the intended dot that you're looking at is your master eye. What we have to do is determine where to look, and that's by the sights on the gun. When you're looking at your sight pictures, the two that we're going to use the most on the handguns we got today are standard notch and post and excess sights. On the ones that you're going to be using, these on here, we're going to move our wrist around until the sight picture is in the correct position. When it's in the correct position, the gaps on either side are exactly the same, and the level across the top is exactly the same. Because the gun always points where the front sight's going, any deviation in the front sight will send your bullets in that direction. Believe it or not, your eye can only focus at one distance at any one time. The focal plane that we want to be in is the front sight of the weapon. The rear sight will be slightly blurred, the front sight will be crystal clear, and the target will be slightly blurred. If you don't concentrate on the front sight, you won't actually hit the target.
Up next.
This morning, we're going to be out on the range shooting.
I am nervous. This is going to be the first time I'm ever going to shoot a gun. I didn't know what to expect.
One round, stand by.
Conceal Carry School is brought to you by Cheaper Than Dirt, America's ultimate shooting sports discounter, by Otis, the most advanced gun care system in the world, and by TN Marketing and the Personal Defense Network.
Welcome back. As an experienced instructor, Bill Davison has hand-picked a knowledgeable team of experts.
As a safety officer on the range, my primary responsibility is to make sure that whatever firing line we're shooting from, we don't have anyone stepping in front of, making sure that all the weapons, once they're out, are pointed down range.
I've known Bill since about 2000. We do an anti-terrorism symposium up in Newark about once a year. I'm familiar with his safety protocol and the way that he likes to do things, which can be a little bit different from some of the other schools.
I write and publish books about guns, conceal carry. I wrote the Concealed Handgun Manual. Bill is the best firearms instructor I've ever come across because he's always ready to learn something new, and if he can find a better way of doing something, he will.
What we're going to do this morning is going to be out on the range shooting. What I want you to do is you're going to impress me by concentrating on letting the gun take you by surprise. You're going to put the front sight on, what we want to hit, slowly squeeze the trigger.
I am really looking forward to shooting the gun.
I think that the groundwork that we did today will absolutely enable me to be a better marksman, and I'm looking forward to that, which is something that I wasn't yesterday.
Really feel confident. I mean, I feel like I'm ready. I got a good foundation. I'm ready to go out and actually start firing this handgun.
I am nervous. It's going to be the first time I'm ever going to shoot a gun, and not knowing anything about handguns and not having any experience, I didn't know what to expect.
All the way through this first course of fire, it's going to be one round at a time. Does anybody have any questions?
No, sir.
Good. Pistols out! Ready, position, draw!
Load! Magazine out! One round! Stand by! Out!
Sarah came to the class originally with probably more resistance against guns.
Up!
She was completely turned around.
One round! Stand by! Up!
And she was certainly one of the best and most accurate shooters.
Up! 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 Rack! Look inside! Engage your safety catch. Lay your weapon down on the ground. The line is clear. You may take your box forward and stand by your target.
This was not scary. It was not worth all the nervousness and the anticipation. It was really fun, and I think I did pretty well.
I feel like I did okay shooting for the first time. Still have some work to do, and the grip, I think, is the most important part.
I'm thrilled. I think it went really well. I mean, look at this. That's daylight.
Just the anticipation of the sound and the jump, the gun, and what it does is what caused me to go here. And towards the end, as you can see it, as I took a deep breath, I got better.
I'm hoping that other people, other ladies or men out there who don't have experience with guns, don't be afraid to explore that option. It's not something that I ever thought I would ever get into.
Coming up next time on Conceal and Carry School, we'll meet local Denver celebrity and morning radio host Howie Drummond. Howie's never been the victim of a crime, but wants to be proactive in the protection of not only himself, but his wife and children as well.
I want my daughters to have a better understanding about guns.
Might you at home be smart to follow Howie's lead? We'll find out next time on Conceal and Carry School.